Okay, so when we are looking at combinations and compositions of functions, typically it's compositions of functions which are the most challenging. So compositions of functions is basically replacing the input of one function with the output of the other. So basically we're going to replace these x values with a whole nother function. And so what we can do is we can look at two examples. So this is a function f of x and a function g of x. We can look at f of g of x, which is the same thing as f of g of x. Two different ways to write this out. Now the first one is kind of nice because see how the function was originally f of x? Now it's f of g of x. We replaced the x with g of x, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But we could also see it this way, which is more so how it's read, f of g of x. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the f function. In both of these cases, f comes first. So I'm going to write out the f function. So 3x squared plus 2x. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace my x. So I'm going to erase my x values. And just as if they moved away, they left a big open hole. So I'm going to leave some parentheses there. In those parentheses, where x used to be, now goes g of x, the g function. So g of x goes into there. And that's the composition. I just need to simplify. So this is a binomial squared, so it's going to give me x squared plus 2x plus 1, plus here I can distribute 2x plus 2. I can distribute the 3 now, so this is 3x squared plus 6x plus 3 plus 2x plus 2. I can have 3x squared plus 8 squared plus 5 after combining the like terms. And that is going to be f of g of x. That's what we did. We replaced the x in f of x with the g of x. We could also have it the other way around, where we have g of f of x. So if we have g of f of x, again, another way to write that is g of f of x. Here we're going to start out with the g function. So the letter g comes first. So I'm going to write out x plus 1. But I'm replacing the x with the f function. So I erase the x, and in its place I put the f function, which is 3x squared plus 2x. This is actually a nice one because there are no like terms. So that's just my final answer. It does work out nicely like that sometimes. So there are a bunch of different ways to think about this, but the best way I feel is, again, if you have an f of x, you replace the x with another function. So work out and show your steps.